Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been paying attention to the NFL headlines over the past few weeks, you know that the Cleveland Browns are at a fascinating crossroads this offseason. And I mean, a real crossroads that could define the team's future for years to come. We've seen plenty of offseason chatter, some surprises, and a lot of speculation about who will actually be under center when Week 1 rolls around. With so much riding on this, let's get deep into what's happening behind the scenes and what it all might mean for the Browns' 2025 campaign. Because honestly, this isn't just about who will start in the first game, it's about the future direction of this franchise, and we've got some intriguing developments that could shake up the AFC North quite a bit. So, at the heart of it all, the quarterback competition in Cleveland is still very much open. And I emphasize still, because the Browns have been intentionally keeping things close to the vest. No definitive starter has been announced, and the coaching staff, led by Kevin Stefanski, is playing it smart, letting the battle unfold during training camp. But what makes this situation even more interesting is that many insiders are starting to lean toward one particular name, Kenny Pickett. Yes, you heard that right. The same Kenny Pickett who, just a few months ago, many thought might not even be in the conversation for the Browns' starting job. But recent reports and some subtle hints from the coaching staff suggest that Pickett might actually be in the mix for Week 1. Now, let's talk about the context here. The Browns signed Joe Flacco, a seasoned veteran with a long NFL career, expected by many to be the favorite to start at quarterback. After all, Flacco has been a steady presence in the league, known for his playoff experience and veteran leadership. But the Browns didn't just sign Flacco out of thin air. They also traded a fifth-round pick to the Philadelphia Eagles for Kenny Pickett, which indicates a serious investment in evaluating what the young quarterback can offer. It's not every day that a team trades a draft pick for a player they don't see as a potential starter, especially not in the early stages of training camp. That move signals that Cleveland is serious about seeing if Pickett can develop into their franchise quarterback, or at least a solid starter for the foreseeable future. And this brings us to an intriguing part of the story. Many insiders and analysts believe that Kevin Stefanski is actually leaning toward giving Pickett a real shot at the starting role. Kevin Stefanski, who has built his reputation on offensive innovation and smart game management, has been subtly praising Pickett in recent interviews. It's not just casual praise. It's the kind of endorsement that suggests the head coach sees something special in the young QB, something that might be worth betting on. Tony Rizzo, a well-respected analyst and insider from ESPN Cleveland, recently commented that Stefanski played a significant role in bringing Pickett to Cleveland. Rizzo highlighted that while Andrew Berry, the Browns' general manager, made the trade, Stefanski's influence was definitely a factor. Rizzo even went as far as to say that Stefanski was probably consulted when the decision was made to bring Pickett in, and that the head coach's endorsement is not something to overlook. According to Rizzo, I have to believe that Stefanski was consulted when Andrew Berry brought in Kenny Pickett. I don't think Stefanski made the call, but I do think he's definitely on board with the idea that Pickett could fit well in this offense. This kind of behind-the-scenes insight is pretty rare, and it signals that the Browns may be laying the groundwork for a potential quarterback competition that isn't just about experience, but about talent, upside, and long-term potential. What's especially fascinating about Pickett is that he's still relatively young, just 27 years old, and he's got the kind of untapped potential that could make him a real diamond in the rough. We've seen similar stories in the NFL, players who were written off early in their careers, but then blossomed into stars with the right environment and coaching. Baker Mayfield's rise in Cleveland, for example, was a story of resilience and opportunity. Geno Smith's resurgence last season is another reminder that sometimes a change of scenery and the right coaching can unlock a player's true potential. The Browns might be hoping that Pickett can follow a similar trajectory, especially considering the team's recent history of reclamation stories at quarterback. Now, let's not forget that there's still the veteran presence of Joe Flacco, who, despite his age, remains a reliable backup and a calming influence in the huddle. Flacco's experience cannot be underestimated, especially when it comes to managing games, reading defenses, and providing leadership. But the reality is, at age 40, he's not the long-term answer for a franchise with Super Bowl aspirations. The NFL is increasingly about dynamic mobile quarterbacks who can extend plays and make things happen outside the pocket. Pickett, with his mobility and arm talent, fits that mold. Plus, given his recent development in Pittsburgh, many believe he's just scratching the surface of his potential. The Browns' coaching staff, particularly Stefanski, has been clear that the competition is open and that everyone will get a fair shot. This is not a situation where one player is handed the job without a fight. It's a true camp battle, and as we get deeper into training camp, the picture will become clearer. But what's exciting is that the team seems genuinely intrigued by what Pickett could bring to the table. And considering the way the NFL is trending, with teams looking for athletic, versatile quarterbacks, Pickett's skill set could be a perfect fit for Cleveland's offensive scheme. This entire situation also ties into the broader context of the Browns' recent quarterback history. Cleveland has had its share of ups and downs at the position. Beyond Baker Mayfield, who was the first overall pick and a fan favorite, the Browns have struggled to find consistent, long-term solutions. They've cycled through several quarterbacks, from Tyrod Taylor to Case Keenum, and of course, Mayfield himself. But the team's front office and coaching staff are clearly trying to find a more sustainable answer, and that's why they're exploring all options, including giving Pickett that opportunity. Statistically, Pickett showed flashes of talent during his time at Pitt and in his brief NFL appearances, demonstrating a strong arm, good mobility, and a knack for making plays under pressure. His tape suggests he's capable of making throws from different angles and has the necessary poise to handle NFL defenses. The Browns' offensive line, which has been improving over the past couple of seasons, should give him enough protection to showcase his skills. And with talented receivers like Amari Cooper and David Njoku, Cleveland is building an offense that can support a young quarterback's development. Of course, there are still questions. Can Pickett learn the Browns' complex offensive schemes quickly? Will he be able to handle the pressure of being a starter in a city that demands success? These are valid concerns, but the signs point to Cleveland's coaching staff being willing to take that risk, especially if they believe he's got the upside to be their guy for years to come. And I think that's a big part of this story. This isn't just about winning a job in training camp, it's about laying the foundation for the future. From the fan perspective, this is an incredibly exciting time. Browns fans have been through a lot in recent years, periods of disappointment, rebuilds, and hopes that sometimes seemed dashed. But this offseason feels different. The vibe around Cleveland is one of cautious optimism. If Pickett can develop into a franchise quarterback, it could change everything. It could mean stability at the position for the next decade, playoff runs, and maybe even that elusive Super Bowl victory that Browns fans have been dreaming about since their re-entry into the league back in 1999. And let's not forget the AFC North. This division is always competitive, with the Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers consistently vying for supremacy. A strong quarterback can tilt the scales significantly. If Cleveland finds their guy and he performs at a high level, it could tip the balance of power in this division. The Bengals are emerging as a powerhouse with Joe Burrow, and the Ravens are always tough with Lamar Jackson when he's healthy. Steelers, even with question marks at the quarterback position, remain formidable. So the Browns' decision at quarterback isn't just a team matter. It's a division-wide storyline that could shape the AFC North for years to come. Now, looking ahead, the upcoming weeks of training camp and preseason will be crucial. We'll see how Pickett performs in live drills, how he responds to pressure, and whether the coaching staff truly believes he can lead this team. If he impresses, don't be surprised if the Browns start the season with him under center. If not, Flacco and possibly others will continue to compete. But the fact that Cleveland is giving Pickett serious consideration is already a bold statement about where they see his potential. For Browns fans, this entire saga is incredibly engaging. It's a story of hope, of risk-taking, and of believing in the young talent that might just carry this franchise back to prominence. The NFL is unpredictable, and that's part of what makes following these developments so exciting. We all remember how quickly things can change. Just look at the recent quarterback turnarounds across the league. The Browns are positioning themselves to be part of that story, and it's going to be fascinating to see how it all unfolds. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this quarterback situation? Are you confident that Pickett has what it takes to be the starter? Do you think Stefanski is making the right call by giving him a real shot? Or do you think Flacco's veteran experience will carry the team for the upcoming season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. Remember, this is just the beginning of what promises to be an exciting season, and I can't wait to see where it all goes. Thanks for sticking with me, Browns fans. Let's keep the passion alive and see our team rise to new heights.